Okay, I hope everybody can join me very quickly so that we can find out if we've got sound. Nikki's standing by on the side to see what she can do to assist us in this matter. Not sure exactly what's happening this morning. I've been gone for about 10 days and we're just getting everything back up and running. So let me know if you can hear. There I see Sarah Bales joined, Eric joined. Would you just put a comment if you can hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. Oh, wonderful. We have sound. How exciting. Let's start over again and have a redo for a Monday morning. Augment your week. I'm Dave Blanchard. I'm the CEO of the Mandino companies and a partner in Blanchard Leadership. We have the privilege of bringing Mandino's material into the 21st century. The Mandino family has entrusted us with the rights to the greatest salesman in the world, the 10 scrolls, Mandino's name. Many of you know that we're working on the script right now for the feature film. Very exciting development as we're working through bringing the greatest salesman to the big screen. How exciting is this? Talk about, this is prompting the very topic for this morning, my writing, which every once in a while I get a writing block. Anybody had a big ugly? That thing that just seems insurmountable. It might be your tax return this year. You're going, I got to pull all this stuff together. I wish I'd have kept better records, whatever it might be. I got to clean out the garage. I need to get the lawn mowed, whatever the have-to, shoulds, and musts and need-tos that we've got in our life, those big uglies. See if you've got a big ugly. And if you do, just go to the comments and say, yes, I have a big ugly, because we're going to tear down that big ugly today so that you can get it off your plate. Get that thing finished, because sometimes we don't have blocks of time sufficient to handle a big ugly, and because we don't, we just put it off, or if we schedule it, we have all kinds of other things come up that seem like justifications. Please, interruption, help, give me something important enough to not have to deal with this today. Well, today we're going to deal with it. Today we're going to deal with it because we go into the future and we get our dream. And here's our dream. And visionaries have this real temptation. And the temptation is to go just a little bit beyond the dream and prematurely experience what it's going to be like after the dream is created. This is called counterfeit joy. It's not real joy, it's counterfeit joy, driven by norepinephrine being released into the sympathetic nervous system, and we're feeling euphoric. Oh, just wonderful. And so we might stick our foot in there a little deeper, and pretty soon we're spending productive time in fantasy, imagining what it's going to be like when we finally get there. And then when life shows up differently, you know what I mean? You get that autonomic response, that cortisol surge, that anxiousness, or amygdala gets hijacked, our fight or flight center, and we're overwhelmed and discouraged and confused. Well, today, let's do it differently. Let's get clear on the vision. And this can be a big ugly. This is something that needs to be accomplished. You'll want to do this. You just haven't been able to schedule it properly. Og Mandino says, my procrastination, which has held me back, is born of fear. As I recognize this secret, mine from the depths of all courageous hearts. Now I know that I must act without hesitation, and I'll turn those fears, those flutters of my heart, I'll stop that, and I know that action reduces the lion of terror to an ant of equanimity. Here we are with scroll 9. That procrastination which has held me back. And sometimes we think of procrastination differently than it actually is, because procrastination can simply be, I don't have enough time. I'm afraid I don't have enough time. I'm afraid I don't have enough energy. I'm afraid I don't have the ability. That could be another fear. I'm just afraid. But we do know it's fear-based, false evidence appearing real. We've got cortisol coursing through our body. Feels real. We just want to have something more fun, more pleasant to do than our big ugly. Well, here's the secret. We take our big ugly and we divide it into 1 hour segments. Let's say, for an example, your big ugly is your tax return. Well, maybe the first hour is just gathering information. The second hour might be creating that spreadsheet you've been talking about doing all year and haven't done. The next might be analyzing which expenses are business expenses and which ones are personal expenses. However you choose to break that out. Break it out into 1 hour segments. 1 hour segments. Open up your calendar and put the first one on today. Today. Make this commitment. Make this commitment. Do the first one today, because something magical will happen. When Og says that I want to be like the firefly, he says, henceforth I'll remember the lesson of the firefly who gives off its light only when it's on the wing, only when it's in action. I'll become a firefly, and even in the day, my glow will be seen in spite of the sun. Let other butters be as butterflies who preen their wings, Let others be as butterflies who preen their wings and depend on charity of a flower. For life, I'll be the firefly, and my light will brighten the world. When we get into that 1 hour, we dedicated the time, we jump in, we start doing the do, our mind starts getting activated with ideas about how to do it even better. And we follow those, we get excited, and guess what happens at the end of the hour? Now, up to this moment in time, that big ugly's been sitting over there just haunting you. At the end of every day, I know I need to do that. Yes, I should do that. Well, why don't you do it now? Well, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a better day, right? And all of a sudden, you broke it into 1 hour segments. You booked the first one today, the second one on Tuesday, the third one on Wednesday, the fourth one on Thursday, the fifth one on Friday. And if you can do it in 5 1 hour sessions, then you complete the first hour and you get to celebrate. Just think about the difference between celebrating the accomplishment, because all you committed to today was that portion of it, that 1 hour portion, and it's a done deed, it's accomplished. Og says this, to increase my worth, I must increase my actions. I'll walk where the failure will not walk. I'll talk when the failure remains silent. I'll work when the failure seeks rest. I'll call on 10 who can buy my goods while the failure makes grand plans to call on 1. I'll say that it is done, for the failure says it is too late. He's telling us, break this into 10 little pieces if you need to. The accomplishment and the celebration, a sense of celebration. You don't need to worry about any portion of that big ugly till Tuesday when you have the next hour scheduled. Then you jump into that hour. At the end, you celebrate. Same thing on Wednesday. You jump into that 1 hour, you complete it, and you celebrate. Imagine the difference in this week by taking that big ugly and breaking it into pieces and taking action and completing the piece you're committing to complete and being done. Now you're done. Now the day's free to do other important things. And then on Friday, if it's a 5 segment big ugly, at the end of Friday, that 1 hour segment, you're not only celebrating that portion of the big ugly, you're now celebrating the big uglies off your desk. And you can look back and say, oh my goodness, that thing was hanging around for days or weeks or months, maybe even years. And we broke it into bite-sized pieces that we could complete, take the action, complete. That we could say, I'm done, before the failure says it is too late. It is so true. The success or failure is really dependent on the actions we take. Having the vision is to inspire us. It's to ignite our passion and drive our actions. In and of itself, It will not create tangible reality. It simply is there to ignite the passion that will drive the work. The work can't be avoided. And anybody who tries to tell you that's trying to sell a book. It's not the truth. And we have tried to find a life with less stress. It's easier. Today we're going to engage in life. We're going to take that big ugly, divide it up, and experience the real joy that comes from accomplishment. As Og said it this way, when he talked about turning that lion of terror to an ant of equanimity, that means peace of mind. And at the end of this very scroll, he emphasizes it one more time. I hunger for success. I thirst for happiness and peace of mind. How do we get the peace of mind? By acting. Lest I act, I will perish in a life of failure, misery, and sleepless nights. I will command. You take charge of your life today. You're going to take that big ugly and divide it into 1-hour segments and put it on the calendar and execute this week. I will command. And I, those are my unhealthy habits of thinking, will obey my command. I will act now. How does that sound, everyone? Is this exciting for a Monday morning? Take your big ugly, divide it up, 1-hour segments, complete it and celebrate it. And no, you don't have to think about that big ugly till the next day when the next segment is scheduled. And see how this feels. And see if this isn't a new way of approaching life, where we break things up into smaller pieces and we get them accomplished. May you have the courage to do this, because we know that our value is determined by the actions we take, because our dreams are worthless. Our plans are dust. Our goals are impossible unless they are followed by action. Now, as soon as we finish this call, go pull the scrolls out. If you've got them on a CD, listen to Scroll 9. If you've got them in The Greatest Salesman, Scroll 9 is on page 93. Go to 93 and read it. And then let's get that scheduled. And when we come back next Monday, let's come back to celebrate one big ugly off my plate. Thanks, everyone. It's been great to have everybody with us this morning. Let's take this on and have the best day of your life, one day at a time, that creates the very best week of your life. Thanks, everyone.